Imagine an economy heavily reliant on conquests, tribute, and slave labor. This was the economic model of Rome, a bustling metropolis that dominated the known world for centuries. But how did it work, and what were the societal implications of such an economic structure? At the heart of Rome's economy was a cycle of conquest and exploitation. The empire expanded its territories through military conquest, and these conquered lands were then made to pay tribute to Rome. This tribute took the form of goods, such as grain, wine, and precious metals, which were transported back to the city and distributed among the populace. But Rome's economy wasn't just about taking resources from conquered lands. It was also heavily reliant on slave labor. Slaves, often prisoners of war, were used in a myriad of roles, from agricultural laborers to skilled artisans. They were the engine that powered Rome's economic machine. This reliance on conquest and slave labor had significant societal implications. On one hand, it allowed Rome to accumulate vast wealth and resources, which were used to build grand structures and fund lavish public spectacles. On the other hand, it created a stark social hierarchy, with a small elite class enjoying the fruits of the empire's wealth, while the majority of the population, including the slaves, lived in relative poverty. This social stratification wasn't without its problems. The disparity between the wealthy elite and the poor masses led to social tensions, as the latter grew increasingly resentful of their lot. Over time, these tensions would bubble over into social unrest, leading to strikes, riots, and even rebellions. And then there was the issue of dependency. Rome's economy was so intertwined with its military conquests and slave labor that any disruption to these could potentially send the entire system into turmoil. For instance, if the supply of slaves were to dwindle, or if conquered territories were to revolt, Rome could find itself in an economic crisis. This is not to say that Rome's economic model was a failure. Far from it. For centuries, it allowed the city to grow and thrive, transforming it into one of the most powerful entities of the ancient world. But it was a model with inherent flaws and vulnerabilities, one that in the long run sowed the seeds of social tensions that would contribute to Rome's decline. So as we delve deeper into Rome's economic structure and its societal strains, it's important to remember that no economic model operates in a vacuum. It's always tied to the social, political, and cultural realities of the time. And while Rome's model brought it immense wealth and power, it also set the stage for the social unrest and instability that would eventually contribute to its downfall. Rome's economic model, while successful for a time, sowed the seeds of social tensions that would later contribute to its downfall. Fast forward to the present day, where economic issues continue to stir societal debates in the U.S. Let's talk about economic inequality first. It's a stark reality that the gap between the rich and the poor in the United States has been widening for decades. The wealthiest 1% of Americans hold a disproportionate share of the nation's wealth, while the middle class and the poor wrestle with stagnating wages and rising costs of living. This disparity breeds discontent, just as Rome's economic reliance on conquests and tribute created divisions between the wealthy elite and the masses. Next, let's delve into labor issues and their impact on societal stability. The U.S. labor market is dynamic but not without its problems. Working conditions, wage stagnation, and job security are persistent concerns. Despite technological advancements, many Americans still find themselves working multiple jobs to make ends meet. In the gig economy, workers face precarious employment without the security of benefits. These issues echo Rome's dependence on slave labor, where the majority toiled under harsh conditions for the benefit of a few. Now onto taxation, a contentious topic in any era. In the U.S., tax policy is a double-edged sword. On one side, it's a means to fund public services and redistribute wealth. On the other, it's often criticized as being unfair, with the wealthy and corporations perceived to be paying less than their fair share. This sense of unfairness can fuel societal discord. Remember, Rome too struggled with taxation. Its citizens were burdened with heavy taxes to fund wars and public works, breeding resentment and contributing to societal instability. The parallels between Rome and the contemporary U.S. economy are intriguing, aren't they? But let's not forget, these are different times, different societies with their own unique challenges. The US is not Rome, and the 21st century is not antiquity. But looking at the past can certainly help us understand our present, and perhaps even guide us towards a more equitable future. So where does this leave us? We've seen how economic inequality, labor issues, and contentious taxation constrain societal cohesion, both in ancient Rome and the present-day US. We've also seen how these economic challenges are not isolated phenomena, but intertwined with wider societal and political issues. Just as in Rome, the US faces its own set of economic challenges that could potentially destabilize society. But unlike Rome, the US has the benefit of hindsight. It can learn from the past to navigate its present challenges and work towards a more equitable and sustainable economic future. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And understanding these rhymes can provide valuable insights as we strive to create a more just and stable society. Managing vast territories was another significant challenge for Rome. The Roman Empire, at its zenith, stretched from the sun-baked sands of North Africa to the foggy highlands of Scotland. This vast expanse was a testament to Rome's military prowess, but it also presented a unique set of difficulties. Firstly, Rome grappled with military overextension. The empire's borders were under constant threat from external forces, requiring a massive standing army for defense. These frontiers were often thousands of miles from Rome, making communication and coordination a Herculean task. Imagine having to send orders from Rome to a frontier outpost in Britain, all without the convenience of modern technology. It took weeks, if not months, for messages to reach their intended recipients, slowing down decision-making processes and leaving frontier forces vulnerable to surprise attacks. In addition to this, the vast Roman army was not just for defense. It was also used for maintaining internal peace and suppressing rebellions, a task that became increasingly demanding as the empire expanded. The more territories Rome conquered, the more diverse and potentially volatile its population became. This put a strain on the Roman military, as it was spread thin across the vast territories of the empire, often stationed far from home and constantly engaged in conflict. Secondly, administrative strain was a significant issue. The empire's vastness required a complex system of governance. Provinces, the administrative divisions of the empire, required governors, local officials, and a host of other administrators to keep the wheels of the empire turning. However, managing such a sprawling bureaucracy was a complex and often corrupt affair. Nepotism, bribery, and embezzlement were not uncommon, undermining the efficiency and effectiveness of the imperial administration. Moreover, the diverse populations within the empire meant that Rome had to manage a melting pot of cultures, languages, and traditions. This diversity, while a testament to Rome's expansive reach, also posed a challenge. Integrating these diverse peoples into the Roman way of life was not always smooth, leading to social tensions and occasional uprisings. Lastly, we cannot overlook the economic implications of managing such a vast empire. Maintaining roads, aqueducts, public buildings, and the military apparatus was a costly affair. As the empire expanded, so did the expenses, putting a strain on the Roman economy. Furthermore, the reliance on conquest for economic growth meant that as the pace of expansion slowed, so did the flow of wealth into Rome. These challenges, coupled with internal political instability, gradually weakened the Roman Empire. The once formidable power found it increasingly difficult to manage its vast territories, maintain its military might, and keep its diverse populations content. This, in turn, made it vulnerable to external invasions and internal strife. In conclusion, Rome's territorial challenges were intricate, multifaceted, and ultimately insurmountable. The empire, stretched to its limits, could not sustain its vast territories, leading to its eventual decline. Rome's territorial challenges eventually overwhelmed the empire, leading to its decline. The history of Rome serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities and challenges that come with vast territorial control. Like Rome, the US also grapples with the challenges of maintaining a global presence. So, let's delve into that. The United States, as a superpower, has a global footprint that's hard to ignore. Its influence is felt in every corner of the world. But managing this international presence is no easy task. It's like a high-stakes balancing act. On one side, there's the need to protect national interests and maintain global security. On the other, there's the risk of overextending resources and facing backlash from other nations. Take the U.S. military presence, for instance. It's truly global, with troops stationed in more than 150 countries. That's a lot of flags in a lot of different soils. This global deployment is a modern equivalent of Rome's legions spread across its vast territories. It's a clear demonstration of power, a deterrent to would-be aggressors, and a means of ensuring quick response to international crises. But managing this military presence is a Herculean task. It requires vast resources, both in terms of personnel and finances. It's a multi-billion-dollar endeavor, costing taxpayers dearly. And like Rome, this military overextension can strain the home front. Resources directed overseas could be utilized for domestic needs, leading to debates about priorities and the best use of national wealth. Then there's the diplomatic aspect. The United States, through its embassies, consulates, and diplomatic missions, maintains a constant dialogue with other nations. It's a complex dance of negotiation, persuasion, and sometimes coercion. This diplomatic presence is key to shaping global narratives, establishing alliances, and promoting American ideals. However, this too comes with challenges. As the saying goes, you can't please everyone. Actions that may be seen as promoting American interests can be viewed by others as interference or even aggression. This can lead to strained relationships and even diplomatic standoffs, further complicating the task of maintaining international influence. And let's not forget about economic ties. The U.S. is intricately woven into the global economy with trade relationships spanning the globe. These relationships are vital for the American economy, but they also make it vulnerable to fluctuations in international markets. In a way, it's like Rome relying on its provinces for resources. A disruption in one area can ripple across the entire network. All of these factors paint a picture of a complex, multifaceted task of managing a global presence. It's a constant juggling act requiring careful strategy, keen foresight, and a firm grasp of international dynamics. The U.S., like Rome, must navigate the complex task of managing its global influence without overextending its resources. It's a monumental challenge, but one that's crucial for the country's future. And as we continue to delve into history, we can gain valuable insights to inform our understanding of these contemporary issues. History is not a blueprint for the future, but it can offer valuable lessons. As we've journeyed together through the economic and territorial complexities of the Roman Empire and the United States, it's essential to recognize the intricacies of drawing direct comparisons between these two entities. Despite the striking parallels, the Roman Empire and the contemporary United States are products of vastly different historical contexts, each with its unique set of circumstances, challenges, and opportunities. Let's take, for instance, the economic structures we've examined. Rome's economy was heavily reliant on conquests, tribute, and slave labor. These factors, while integral to Rome's expansion and prosperity, also sowed the seeds of societal strains and eventually decline. On the other hand, the U.S. economy, marked by economic inequality, labor issues, and taxation policies, faces its challenges. Yet, it's not a direct mirror of Rome's economic structure, or consider the territorial challenges. Rome's vast territories brought about military overextension and administrative strain, contributing to its eventual fall. In contrast, the U.S.'s global presence, while not devoid of challenges, operates in a world where technology and diplomacy play a significant role in managing international influence. These aren't just historical analogies or simple cautionary tales. They're complex narratives that underscore the multifaceted nature of power, governance, and societal cohesion. They remind us that history, while not repeating itself in precise patterns, often resonates in intriguing ways. It provides a rich tapestry of experiences and lessons that we can draw upon to navigate our present and shape our future. So, what are these lessons? First, that economic structures, whether dependent on conquests and tribute, or grappling with inequality and labor issues, can have profound societal implications. They can influence social cohesion, stability, and ultimately, the longevity of a civilization or a nation. Second, managing vast territories or maintaining global influence is a delicate balancing act. It requires not just military might, but also effective administration, nuanced diplomacy, and above all, a deep understanding of diverse cultures and contexts. And finally, history teaches us that no empire, no nation, no matter how powerful, is invincible. Societal cohesion, equitable governance, and sustainable power are continuous challenges that require constant vigilance, adaptation, and innovation. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: history should inform our decisions, not dictate them. We must approach historical comparisons with a discerning eye, understanding that while history can guide us, it doesn't provide ready-made solutions for contemporary challenges. Rather, it offers perspectives, raises questions, and encourages nuanced discussions that can help us make better, more informed decisions. So as we reflect on the parallels and contrasts between Rome and the US, let's not see them as definitive forecasts of the future. Instead, let's view them as prompts for deeper reflection, further research, and more nuanced conversations about the challenges of governance, societal cohesion, and maintaining power. While Rome and the US are distinct entities with unique circumstances, both can offer insights into the challenges of governance, societal cohesion, and maintaining power.